Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports. And coming up here on today's show, we're going to look at all 26 of the Raiders' 2023 free agents. The order that the players are listed in is how much money they made last season. It's also the exact same order that you would be able to find on a place like Over the Cap or on Spotrac. The first player coming up here is Clelin Ferrell, and some of the things that you're going to notice. In the title bar, you see Raiders free agents. Some are unrestricted free agents. Some are restricted free agents. I'm also going to show you some of the values in terms of how much money some of these guys are going to be worth next season. At least that's what Spotrac projects. I'm also going to tell you whether or not I want the Raiders to bring all them back. That's all coming up here on today's show. But when you talk about Clelin Ferrell, obviously the Raiders, they already turned down his fifth-year option. He was never lived up to the number 4 overall pick back in the 2019 draft, and he's going to be a free agent in 2023. Maybe the Raiders decide to bring him back, but personally, if they didn't, I wouldn't be upset about it whatsoever. Let's go to the next guy on here, Anthony Averett, or maybe I should just call him Damon Arnett, because I don't know if it's the hair, I don't know if it's the position. This guy was bad this season. Did he deal with injuries? Yes. Did that maybe hinder his play? Sure. But, dude, there was a stretch of season where I had absolutely no confidence in Anthony Averett whatsoever, a player that I was really hoping was going to be able to take a step and help out this secondary, because when he played in 2021 in Baltimore, he was a good player. Anthony Averett, don't want him back in the silver and black. Let's go to the next guy here, offensive tackle. It's going to be Brandon Parker. And Parker was a dude where in the offseason, everyone was trying to sell us on the idea that this was going to be your starting right tackle, or him or Alex Leatherwood. I told y'all for weeks, months, multiple months, that it wasn't going to be Parker. The Raiders might want to try to bring him back just for overall extra depth. I'm not going to sit here and say that Parker should come back. If he does, it needs to be on an absolute vet minimum type of deal. Now, if you're excited for free agency, which you absolutely should be, right? I mean, I feel like for the Raiders, the offseason seems like it's more enjoyable at times than the regular season. There's going to be a lot of money. There's going to be a lot of different things going on. This team is going to be really aggressive this free agency period. Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler, no. If you don't win this offseason, free agency, draft, and then that carries into the regular season, they're not going to have jobs next year. So if you want more free agency videos, rumors, targets, free agents like this, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. Got a lot of videos coming for you this offseason. Next player coming up here is linebacker Denzel Perryman. Is he getting up there in age? Yes, he absolutely is. 83 tackles last year. It is a little bit less than what he had the year before, over 150. 1 sack, 14 tackles for loss. But you know what? Perryman made strides this year in terms of actually being able to cover. The biggest knock that I had on him, and a lot of NFL coaches had on Perryman, was he couldn't cover. He made an adjustment. He got better. He was a leader in that locker room. There were rumors that he could potentially get a contract extension last offseason. It never happened. I'm very curious to see whether or not number 52 puts on the silver and black or that beanie again with this team. Let's go to the number one reason why a lot of y'all probably even clicked on this video. The top free agent out there for the Raiders, it's Josh Jacobs, the rushing king. He had over 2,000 total yards. He carried the rock 340 times, 1,653 yards, 12 touchdowns. I mean, this dude, all pro. He was everything that you needed for this Raiders offense. They declined his fifth-year option, and now a lot of people are probably wondering, all right, it's not a question of should the Raiders bring back Josh Jacobs. It's duh. You should bring back Jacobs. It's just, what exactly do? Do you give him a contract extension? Do you franchise tag him? According to Spotrac, this is Jacobs' market value. They project him to get $12.8 million a year if he signs somewhere. The contract extension projection that they gave was 4 years, $51 million, which actually puts him as the 4th highest paid running back in the National Football League. What I want you to see, though, is Spotrac has recently updated what they believe it's going to cost for a franchise tag. If y'all remember, for a lot of the people that watch this video, it's been somewhere around like 12.6, 12.7. Well, now they're projecting it down at 10.1. If you can franchise tag Jacobs at 10.1, it is an easy decision to make. So everyone who's turning in this video, I would imagine you want Jacobs back, right? He was so fun and entertaining being able to just watch him just straight up wrecked dudes, and it was unbelievable. If you want Jacobs back on the Raiders, I want you to take 2 seconds, show JJ a little bit of love, scroll on down, hit that like button. Shit, if we don't get 2, 3, 4,000 likes on this video, I'm really questioning how much diehards we got watching the Raiders report. Let's go to the defensive side of the football now. It's Jerry Tillery. Tillery was an interesting player that filled in nicely to start for the Raiders when he was signed. He had a lot of trade rumors around him. The Chargers decided to move on from him. And for a week or two, it was like, wow, Jerry Tillery looks insanely good. He's really going to help boost this defense. And then as the year went on, started to fall off. As you can see down below, his market value, according to Spotrac, is going to be somewhere around $7.8 million per year. Tillery, thanks for filling in for the Raiders, but there's no shot in hell. I know he was drafted in the first round. Ain't no shot in hell I'm paying Tillery anywhere near $7.8 million. My max for him would be somewhere around $5 million. And for that, guess what? I might not end up getting him now, and I'm okay with that. We're talking free agents here on today's show, and luckily, Magic Spoon and the Raiders Report, we re-signed and we got a deal done. The Raiders Report is sponsored by Magic Spoon, and I want you guys to go try it out, magicspoon.com/chat. My favorite cereal, Magic Spoon, growing up, cereal was one of the best parts of being a kid, but I had to give it up because I realized it was full of sugar and junk that you really shouldn't eat. But Magic Spoon is cereal reinvented. I start every day with a bowl of Magic Spoon. It tastes amazing, and honestly, it's too good to be true. Magic Spoon tastes exactly like regular cereal from your childhood, but it is super nutritious with 13 to 14 grams of protein and 0 grams of sugar. Magic Spoon comes in delicious flavors such as cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter, and has only 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free. I love Magic Spoon because it tastes great and it's good for you. I'm never going back to regular cereal. Start your new year off right with Magic Spoon. Use the QR code on screen or go to magicspoon.com/chat and use my code chat for $5 off your own personal Magic Spoon variety pack and stay on track of your New Year resolutions. That's magicspoon.com/chat or scan the QR code and use code chat. Link is going to be in the comments and in the description of today's video. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. I am really excited to get these guys back. I eat this cereal all the time. Personally, for me, I have not had a bad flavor. I love the cocoa. I've been telling y'all for a while, I'm in love with the cocoa. One guy who definitely uses Magic Spoon is Mack Hollins. We're going to be talking about him because that dude is absolutely jacked. Let's now talk about Mack Hollins, who, like I said, definitely uses some Magic Spoon cereal. 57 grabs last year, 690 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Was Hollins a lot better than what I expected? Yes. Never expected him to make the impact that he did. Now, the other thing that makes Hollins great and one of the biggest reasons why I believe he's going to be one of the top guys McDaniels and Ziegler want back, special teams. Special teams means so much to every football team, but I do feel like it means a little bit more to McDaniels and Ziegler. And Hollins is one of the best special teamers there are. He is an incredible gunner. His ability to get down the football field and make clutch special teams play makes that 2.4. If that's what he wants, cool. Personally, I think Hollins could get closer to $4-5 million this upcoming free agency period. We're going to go back to the defensive side of the football real quick here, and it's Rock Ya-Sin. I love Rock. I told y'all when this dude came out of Temple, drafted in the second round, 34 overall, he's a tough mother effer. He gives you that tenacity. He gives you what a lot of Raider fans want on their defense. They want somebody who's tough. 45 tackles, 0 interceptions, 7 pass breakups, 0 INTs. The numbers that I want you to look at here, though, okay? Quarterback rating. When he was a rookie in Indianapolis, he had 109.2 quarterback rating against him. 98.7 his sophomore season. Junior year, 88.8. Last season with the Raiders, 82.6. I would say that that's an improvement. And if you can actually get a good defensive line around him, if you can actually get more pressure on a quarterback, that's going to help out Rock Ya-Sin. If there's anybody out there that doesn't think that he was a good player this year, shame on you. Turn on the tape. This guy arguably was the best corner, and that's saying Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs took a step back this year. I could say I believe Rochell probably played better than Nate Hobbs. Now, in terms of his market value, Spotrac's going to project it at $10.8 million per year. There's going to be teams out there that want Rock. I mean, there's no doubt about it. When you look at his ability to be able to get after the running backs, to be able to stop the run, he's not afraid to tackle. That's one thing that I love about him, and he can do that. He can cover in man. He can cover in zone. He gives your defense a lot of versatility, and that's a key word in Patrick Graham's system. And at $10.8 million, I would bring back Rocky Sin for that amount of money. Let's go to the offensive side of the football now. It's Jakob Johnson, Alvidazine. Jakob had 5 catches for 10 yards. That's not the impact that he makes, though, on this team. He's a run blocker. And I know a lot of people, myself included, I loved Alec Ingold. He was a great player for the Raiders, super nice guy, did a lot of amazing things in Las Vegas, and continues to do a lot of great things for the NFL and down there in Miami. But Jakob Johnson's a better run blocker. And I do believe one of the reasons why you saw Jacobs have a little bit of a better year is because he had a big-time fullback that can run block the way Jakob Johnson did. So if you're planning on bringing back Jacobs, I do think that you should think about the idea of bringing back Johnson, though I don't believe it's going to cost all that money because, let's face it, not many NFL teams still use a fullback. Let's go to wide receiver Keelan Cole. I came up here on this show and I said Keelan Cole is going to be one of those wide receivers that impresses you. He's a good route runner. He was going to work well with Derek Carr. He had 10 catches for 141 yards and a touchdown. He was bad this year. I mean, I'm telling y'all right now. I couldn't even believe he got the amount of reps that he did on the field. He wasn't good in special teams. According to PFF, he was one of the 3 worst wide receivers in the league. I don't anticipate Keelan Cole coming back to the Raiders. One dude that when he signed with the Raiders this offseason, Duron Harmon, I sat up here and I said, remember when the Raiders signed Casey Hayward in 2021? People fell in love with him. Why? Yeah, he's a little bit up there in terms of age. He's a vet. But he was kind of like a player coach on the field. And when you got a young defense like the Raiders have, you need to have those player coaches. Casey Hayward was great in a Gus Bradley defense because, like he said, he knew it like the back of his hand. Duron Harmon also was a good fit with McDaniels in their years past in New England, but he also was a really good fit in Patrick Graham's system, and I believe you saw that. 86 tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. I would love for the Raiders to be able to figure out a way to bring back Duron Harmon, especially if it only costs $2.9 million a year. I believe you'd be a bonehead not to do that. Let's go to an offensive lineman now. It's Jermaine Eluemunor, one of the top follows on Twitter. This man has always given his opinion, which I respect. He, in 17 games last season, 3 sacks allowed. There was some people up in the air about how well Eluemunor would play. I said that I actually like Eluemunor a lot more than other people, and it's because back in 2021, when he got those first 4 starts at right guard, I don't know why the Raiders went away from him. I actually have absolutely, positively no idea. But then I saw when the Raiders brought in Carmen Basillo, an offensive line coach, who previously worked with Eluemunor with the Patriots, I said, this guy's a sneaky signing, and he was way above all of my expectations. Not only did he play left tackle, right guard, right tackle, predominantly right tackle, he did it well, and that's why he's going to be a player that he's coming back on this team. 940 snaps. An overall PFF grade of 75.3, pass blocking grade of 76.1, run blocking grade of 75.1, or 7. When you're playing at a high level, which by all accounts he is, sure, some people might look at $5.6 million for Eluemunor and say, it's worth it. He could play all the positions on the offensive line, maybe minus center. That gives you a lot of versatility, and it gives you a lot of value. And if you're planning on bringing in an old quarterback that might not be able to move as much, I promised myself I wouldn't say his name on today's show. Eluemunor is worth that. You need to build your offensive line, really hoping he comes back. Let's go to a linebacker now. It's Jayon Brown. 45 tackles last season, 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss. He didn't do much. I was excited when the Raiders signed Jayon Brown. And the reason I say that is because you go back and you look at a lot of his tape, he was really good at covering tight ends. He was really good at covering running backs. This year for the Raiders, he wasn't. He stunk. He was one of the worst linebackers in the National Football League. Jayon, thanks for coming, I guess, to the team for a year. It's fun doing a live show last offseason. You ain't coming back, though, homie. Let's go to another defensive player here, Andrew Billings, the big guy up the middle. If it wasn't for Andrew Billings, this defensive tackle room would have been historically bad. 39 tackles, a sack, 3 tackles for loss. But sometimes when you're a defensive tackle, you shouldn't just look at the numbers because he didn't really fill up the stat sheet, but when he was on the field, he disrupted the run game. He helped guys like Crosby get more one-on-ones. And in 477 snaps, an overall grade of 76.4, run defense grade of 72.3, a pass rush grade of 66.4. Andrew Billings was your best defensive tackle last season. I don't really think many fans would dispute that, but a lot of people didn't expect it. I'm hoping that Billings ends up coming back to this team. In terms of the defensive side of the football, let's play a little bit of a game here. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you could only re-sign one of these defensive players. And yes, you could throw the money into the equation as well. Would you re-sign Andrew Billings? Type number 97. What about Denzel Perryman? Then you can type 52. Rocky Ya-Sin, type 26. If you're going to sign the old man, Duron Harmon, then let me know down in the comments with a 30. If I could only pick one of those names, I'm going to type 26, and I'm going to pick it for Rocky Ya-Sin. But I'm also going to think about it from a extra level standpoint. I wanted the Raiders to give a contract extension to Yannick Ngakoue. Yeah, sure, he wasn't all that great against the run, but he's had 8 sacks every single year in the NFL, and the Raiders definitely missed the presence of having another elite pass rusher next to Maxx Crosby. So because you decided to not extend Ngakoue and you traded him away to get Rocky Ya-Sin, that means to me that you better do your part of getting Rocky Ya-Sin, or else you essentially just gave away a top 20 pass rusher in the NFL. That means Ya-Sin is the priority. We're going to keep on rolling here. Remember, we got 26 free agents to go through. Ameer Abdullah is the next guy. Yeah, he's a free agent. I could see them trying to bring him back. Running back coach Kennedy Polamalu obviously liked Abdullah, which is one of the reasons why he came in. But the Raiders have, remember, Sincere McCormick. You're going to have Zamir White. You're going to have the rookie running back out of UCLA, Britton Brown. I was going to say, his name's escaping me. I will miss the 3rd and 15 screens to Ameer, but this could be a player that they bring back because also of the special teams ability. Isaac Rochell was a late addition to this Raiders defense. Personally, I think he's probably just better off sticking to TikTok and Twitter. Doesn't offer you too much help as an edge rusher, but they needed depth because they lost so many players. Another player, free agent, Jordan Jenkins, never got an opportunity. I was hoping that you'd be able to see the outside linebacker play. He got hurt early on, never saw the field. Micah Kiser, this was an offseason addition that I said, all right, kind of makes some sense. Tom McMahon, the Raiders special teams coordinator, brought him on over from the Denver Broncos, and that's what he was. He's a special teams player that offers you a little bit of depth at linebacker. However, he got hurt, and that was a common theme for a lot of linebackers this year for the Raiders. The, preseason star, Tashawn Bower. This was one dude that I really, really wish they would have gave more opportunities to in the regular season. Why? Because he always played tough. In the preseason, 3 sacks, 32 tackles, was flying all over the football field, was happy that he ended up making the roster, but there were definitely points in the season where you're like, give the guy a shot. Put him out there on the field. Like, I know what Clelin Ferrell is. Put Tashawn Bower out on the field. If I was the Raiders, I would bring him back on a cheap deal because this is a guy who plays really, really hard, and you need those kind of guys in the locker room. Now, remember, y'all, you can always interact with me on social media, Twitter, IG. I'm literally Mitchell Renz 365 everywhere. I usually been telling people, you want more news? Twitter. Personal life? Instagram. And if you want more daily videos, live videos with diehard Raider fans, we're over on Locals at raidersport.locals.com. Let's go to the safety position now. It's Matthias Farley. He got his opportunities here and there. He's probably more of just a 4th stringer on a lot of depth charts. Wouldn't really care if he was back on the team or not. An addition that the Raiders made on the waiver wire was Sidney Jones. I was hoping that he'd be able to make a little bit more of an impact. I would say the fact that he got his opportunity, didn't really play well in those opportunities, and with the emergence of younger guys like a Sam Webb, Sidney Jones is probably not going to be very high on a priority list to bring back for the Raiders. Now, remember earlier in the video, I said unrestricted free agents. Well, now we got restricted free agents, and I'm going to explain what the difference is here in just a second. But Roderic Teamer is one of those restricted free agents, and there's 3 of them. Teamer is a good special teams player. Did play actually a little bit better than what I anticipated and got way more reps and snaps. But that's because the Raiders moved on from Jonathan Abram. Then they put Teamer in this hybrid rule where they're going to play him up in the box, drop him back into coverage. This is a dude that I could see coming back because he does offer you a little bit of versatility. In terms of what is exactly a restricted free agent, I'm glad you asked. A restricted free agent can sign an offer sheet with any team, but the player's original team can retain him by matching the terms of that offer. The original team is said to have the rights of the first refusal. So essentially, if a team offers Teamer or these other two players a deal, the Raiders can be like, no, we're going to match that, and we're going to end up keeping them on the team. It's also the first 3 years of players under contract, essentially. First 3 years in the NFL, restricted rights free agents. Let's go to Jesper Horsted. Tight end that brought over from Chicago in terms of his connections with, I can't think of his name. Regardless, in Chicago, he was with them last year. He's in our front office this year. Moreau is always getting banged up. Darren Waller is a guy who obviously had a lot of injuries this season. He's a receiver. That's what he is. I mean, he's just a wide receiver. Is a little bit undersized as a tight end. This guy could be somebody that you try to bring back on your practice squad. No, it's not him. No, sorry. Producer Petey tried to whisper in my ear the name from Chicago. I'll think of it probably 10 minutes after the show. Let's go to the next name here on the defense. It's Curtis Bolton. If anybody could reach out to Bolton and say if he could please unblock me on Twitter, I'd appreciate it. I don't think I ever said anything bad about the guy. Yeah, he might not be the best in coverage, but he's a hard tackler, and he brought energy to the defensive side of the football. We'll see if he's returns, though, on the team. The final two names are definitely names that I know a lot of y'all are going to care about, so we'll spend a little bit more time here. Jarrett Stidham, quarterback, got 2 starts, 63.9% completion percentage, 656 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Obviously, McDaniels and Ziegler like him. They drafted him in New England. They traded for him this offseason, and now he's going to set to hit free agency. This Jarrett Stidham guy, though, two different quarterback games that we saw. The first game that we saw against the Niners, he was spectacular. I'd make the argument it's the best offensive game this Raiders team has played up against the number 1 defense. 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Shit, he ran the ball 7 times for 34 yards. He looked incredible. But then guess what? Team's got 1 week of tape on him, and Kansas City made him saw ghost. 22 of 36, 219 yards, a touchdown. He had an interception and a fumble. I know there's a lot of people out there that want the Raiders to keep Jarrett Stidham, and I've even heard some people say, oh, he should be the starter in 2023. That's a little bit too far-fetched for me. So let me ask the nation and everyone that comes across this video, should the Raiders re-sign Jarrett Stidham? Give me a Y for yes, type your N for no. In terms of re-signing him, I would re-sign him. I don't have a problem bringing back Stidham. He's a fine backup, and that's an okay thing to have. I will say this, though, because I do believe you're going to bring in an old veteran quarterback. You're probably going to draft a quarterback, so that puts Stidham as your QB3. Are the Raiders going to keep 3 quarterbacks? You could have the old man concentrate on being that number 1 QB. Then you could also have Stidham sit down with the QB that's going to get the keys handed to him from that old man and be the next guy. It's something to think about. But Stidham as a starter in the NFL, stop it. Stop it. The final name here is tight end Foster Moreau out of LSU. 33 grabs last season. Some people might say it's a high number. I don't think it's a very high number in terms of yards and 2 touchdowns. But look at the market value. $9 million a year. I love Big Foff. Cool dude. I know people that know him. No chance in hell am I paying Foster Moreau $9 million a year. That's ludicrous to me. I mean, look at these numbers. $9 million for that type of production? Not a chance in hell. There's other free agents out there. Hell, there's a guy that's even been rumored who can come out of retirement that you can get for cheaper than $9 million. I wish the best of Foster. I wouldn't offer him over $5 million, though. And this is, again, according to Spotrac. So we're going to roll through these names again really, really quickly here. Quick little recap of all the Raiders 2023 free agents. I just want you to see them up on screen. You get a good little mental image. Cool. Let's go to the next one here. Again, defense, offense, it's all mixed in. It's in the exact same order that we went through all the names on today's video. If you made it this far in the video and you didn't like it before when I asked about Jacobs, now would be a pretty good opportunity to just drop us a like, and always make sure you're staying tuned on the Raiders Report for the latest news and rumors around the silver and black. Before I go, I got one more question, because this question is obvious, and look at the title. Besides Josh Jacobs, because I said, who's the number 1 free agent you want back on the Raiders? Everyone, probably including my mother, would put Josh Jacobs. Besides Jacobs, who's the top free agent you want the Raiders to bring back? I want you to think about it, and I'm going to give you a list of names right now. For me, the top priorities are you got to franchise tag Jacobs at $10.1 million. Do it in a heartbeat. In terms of the other players that I want the Raiders to at least try to bring back, Andrew Billings, Jermaine Eluemunor, Rock Ya-Sin, Duron Harmon, Mack Hollins, Denzel Perryman. That's your priority list. All the other guys, if they want to come back on cheaper contracts, that's fine. The names that you see on screen are the names that I am okay paying that market value for them because I believe that they help this team offensively, defensively, and special teams achieve the ultimate goal, and that's winning a Super Bowl. So that was the Raiders 2023 free agents. Like I told you before, we're going to try to do longer videos here. If you watch this before the playoff games for the divisional round, remember, I'm going to be live for the Chiefs and Jags game. I'm also going to be live for the Bills and Bengals game. We're going to be doing watch parties for NFC, AFC Championship, for the Super Bowl. Stay tuned in, and always make sure that you're having a good time here on the Raiders Report. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you all later.